Hoi hoi! It's Louis D again, and for this video, I'm going to recommend books that have father and daughter relationships. Hoorah! So, I just thought of this idea that's just like popped in my head, and I noticed that the books that I read have father-daughter relationships, and I'd like to share them to you. And I think that they would be great, reads, and hopefully your reading experiences for these books will be awesome. So yeah, and I think it's a great, mood to set because Father's Day is going to, come up, or if you're looking for like a Father's Day kind of video, maybe this video can help. So let us begin. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about would be Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Now, this talks about a girl who, she was still surviving, the loss of her mother, and how she's trying to make amends with her father. Her father is a politician, and in terms of their relationship, it wasn't really the best. But I would still include this in this list because in terms of like father-daughter relationships, like the challenges about it, the book was able to depict it. And also, if you like dogs, then definitely this book may be for you. And it does show, and illustrate a very great platonic friendship, or platonic relationship, I should say. The next book that I'm going to be talking about would be The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. Now, this follows the story of Ronnie, who was sent to by her mother to North Carolina to fix her relationship with her father, and things weren't really like the best with both of them. Basically her father is trying to approach her and reach out and really show his love for his daughter, but Ronnie's just like distant. So he gets to meet a guy, and I think along the way, from what I recall, with her relationship with a guy named, just check the name, I believe his name is Will. There you go, Will. Okay, so yeah, with his relationship with Will, I think that kind of contributed on how things were kind of fixed, at least to a certain extent, with her father. So yeah, overall, this is a combination of, a cute, romantic relationship, at the same time hardships between relationships, whether with your family or with your, special someone. I've read this for like quite a while now. It's been more than a decade since I read this, so yeah, just saying. The next book that I'm going to talk about would be The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Now, why did I include this in this list? I just love how vividly and how pure the relationship between Star and her father was depicted in this book. Now, this book has been around in BookTube and probably in other like platforms as well. But what I noticed that wasn't really brought up that much was, that conversation between Star and her father. Just to me personally, it resonated in me, and it made me contemplate about certain things like opportunities, because they started talking about like the situation we're in, somebody who came out of prison and wants to start a new life, but because of the stigma attached to it, that person will be like deprived of opportunities for them to actually be able to have a sustainable life. So what happens is that because they don't get to have those opportunities of being able to have a sustainable life, they go towards the knife, and they go back to those things that, yes, they may pay more, but they're not exactly so. It's kind of like the cycle goes again. So I like how it was talked about, and that really resonated in me. It just did. This next book is pretty popular because it has its own Netflix series out, and that would be To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Now, I'm not sure about the movie because I haven't seen, or like the series, I haven't seen it. But yeah, if you've read this book, y'all know that this has a father-daughter relationship, and kind of like also in unexpected everything, we have like a busy dad. And also, the good thing about here in this book is that, the father of Lara Jean, was, trying to make ways on how he could spend more time with his daughters. And when I was reading this book, especially when they have like activities together, whether to like commemorate their mom or like to live their mom's, memory, it's just so breathtaking. It's like a breath of fresh air, seeing their bond and how, it's just like a joyful, time for them. Even if, of course, despite the sadness of the situation, of loss of Lara Jean's mom, they're still able to do activities, and I just found like the bond so so pure, so refreshing. It was depicted like vividly and kind of like sunny, kind of like it has some sunny vibes, if that makes any sense, So it's definitely a good one. It's definitely was able to, honestly, like there was, I think, I'm trying to recall, there was a book tag that I did, and one of the things that were asked was like, what fictional family would you like to be a part of? And I answered like this one, because I would love to be a part of Lara Jean's family. Speaking of another Korean or Korean American, characters, the next book that I'm going to talk about would be I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maurene Goo. Now, this is BLouRay Book Club's Book of the Month for January 2021, so that's when I read it, and I definitely enjoyed it. Now, this follows the story of Desi. Now, she created like a formula or like a procedure or some sort of a manual, a list, whatever you want to call it, basically to be able to win her love interest's heart, and it was based on Korean dramas. So yeah, that was pretty interesting, right? And if you're into K-drama, then definitely this is a book that I recommend. Now, going back to like the father and daughter, relationship, again, purity was vividly depicted. Like, I just enjoy those scenes where, she and her dad will just have like a casual conversation, and their conversations and their bonding over K-drama is just like amazing. Okay, spotless. Hoorah! And finally, another book with a character who's Korean or Korean American. I'm talking about BLouRay Book Club's Book of the Month for May 2021, and that is Shine by Jessica Jung. Now, the father-daughter relationship here could be seen like within the side stories. Now, like it does talk about what Rachel's family sacrificed in order to support her dreams of being a Korean idol. Now, like I like those times where Rachel really cared for her dad. Her dad kind of like has, aside from like running his own like boxing business, her dad decided to take up law and take up like classes during the evenings, and he decided to keep it as a secret because he didn't want to get his family's hopes up. Well, he told his daughter Rachel, so Rachel's the only one who knows it in the family at the time, and he wanted to keep it a secret, as I mentioned, because he didn't want like the expectations of his family to go up. He wanted to make sure that he graduates and that he gets to find a job. So yeah, I really like that Rachel like cares for her dad so much, and also you can tell that his dad is like willing to sacrifice and is really hardworking and determined to make everything make everything ends meet. So it's definitely that I loved about this book. And even with Rachel's dreams and being an idol, like she does it for her family, so that includes of course her dad. I hope you were able to get recommendations, and feel free to comment down below any books that have like father-daughter relationships, or even, you know, parent and child relationships. I would definitely appreciate that. And if you've made it this far, leave a sunflower emoji, because I just feel like putting out a sunflower emoji. So I guess that's about it. If you folks like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And I'll also be putting down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all.